Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm David, the founder of Ultimate Survival Tips and the host of the Survival Show podcast. I'm glad you're here as we continue our 9-lesson bow drill 101 training series with lesson number 4, how to make your bow drill spindle, otherwise known as the drill. Now, if you missed lessons number 1, 2, or 3, click the link on your screen or in the description to be magically transported to the previous videos in this series. Now, before we get into this lesson, make sure you smash that like button so you don't miss out on any of the lessons in this sweet Bow Drill 101 video series, and go grab the outline notes and materials checklist for this course for free at ultimatesurvivaltips.com/bow drill for a limited time. All right, let's get into lesson number 4, how to make your bow drill spindle. Lesson, we're going to prepare our spindle using a poplar dowel rod and a 1x1 length of pine. The spindle or drill is the part of the kit that works with the bow to transfer the energy from the engine, remember that's you, to the fireboard. To carve your spindle, you'll need to grab your knife, saw, dowel rod, or 1-inch thick softwood board. Now Gabe will work on the dowel rod and I'll work on the square length of pine. Okay, now we've got all of our materials out to make our spindles. Gabe's going to be using the dowel rod, which is poplar 3/4 inch. And I've got a sample out for him to make it easy and a sample for you. So when he's all done, it's going to look something like this, less the burnt end. I am going to be using 1 inch by 2 inch wide whiteboard. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this to the length I want it, and then I'm going to have to cut the width down. Gabe's got a little bit easier job. He just has to cut the length, and that's why a dowel rod's really good for beginners. You just have to cut the length. You're going to have a perfectly round spindle, so you're just going to have to carve both of these ends. For me, I'm going to have to make a square 1x1 round, or mostly round like this. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to measure out 10 inches and we're going to cut our pieces to the right length. All right, let's get this started. Okay, now Gabe has eliminated entire 2 steps. For me, now I'm going to have to cut this right down that line, and then I'm going to have to round out all the corners. Gabe's going to have a way head start on me because he already has a round piece. So I'm going to get him started with his knife, and you can go ahead and start sharpening. This is going to be the top part that goes into your handhold.
Right, which is narrow, so it's less resistance.
Yep. So you can go ahead and work on that. I'm going to keep working on my piece to even get it to the point where I can start using my knife. For safety, I'm just going to be wearing a leather glove as I cut down here. Now, if you have power tools and you're comfortable with them, you can use these. For us, we're just using hand tools to show you that they can be done. Now we could have tried to split this with our knife, but you always run the risk of catching the wrong grain and splitting it out in a way that you can't recover the piece. One other thing I want to mention is that if you have a choice, when you go to select lumber, try to find lumber that has really straight grains, kind of like this one does. That's just going to make it easier to carve, and it's going to keep pieces from splitting out, especially if you're going to try and make something that's square, round like I am. So the way we do this, you want to make sure you have a sharp knife. We're just going to start by rounding these corners off. because of my cutting, my piece is a little bit odd shaped. We'll just see if we can work with it anyway. The good thing is I know I've got another section here if I run into problems. You want to make sure that you do small, thin sections. Otherwise, you could catch a grain and really split your wood and make it unrecoverable. But you want to go ahead and round that off pretty good. This has got to be completely rounded off, so you're going to have to start back here further.
Okay.
And then you're going to want to make this possibly a little bit
elongated,
a little bit more thinner along there.
Okay.
Sort of kind of like that. So you're going to start further back here.
Okay.
So if you're working with a 1x1 piece, it really needs to be pretty round. You can see that it's a little bit elongated down here. I'll fix that. And a couple of ways you can tell if it's round is just roll it between your hands like that. And if it really gets hung up on a flat or oblong piece, you should feel it. Do that with the whole part, because I can feel it up here that it's really flat right in here. And you can roll it on a table, and you want to eliminate as much of that bounce as you can. You can kind of hear it. The more round that is, the easier it's going to be for you. Just so you know, Gabe is almost done. And I'm still rounding off my piece. Okay, pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pointier end, which is going to be our top. That's going to go into our handhold. It's going to go into our handhold, similar to this. So I'll start that. In the end, you want to make sure that it's center balanced. So Gabe, before he started carving his, he put a center dot on his. I didn't. He's just frankly smarter than I am. I've done this a time or two also. So there you have it. My top end is in pretty good shape. It's pretty well center balanced. Now I'm going to do my bottom end. That's actually going to go into the fireboard a little bit later. So it's going to be similar to this, except it's not going to be burnt in yet. So this bottom end is thicker and rounder and less pointy. Okay, so we're getting there. You can see my top pointed end, and now I'm working on rounding out this end that's going to be used on the hearthboard. Okay, I finished mine. I think I'm pretty good to go. There's my more blunt, rounded tip, and there's the pointy side. All right, Gabe and I are done. If your spindle looks something like these, we're ready for the next lesson. We've just taken a look at how to make your bow drill spindle. Join me next time for lesson number 5 in our series, where you're gonna craft your bow drill fireboard. For your convenience, I've placed a link to the bow drill course outline PDF with bonus notes and materials checklist above and in the description. Or you can go grab the outline notes and materials checklist right now for this course over at ultimatesurvivaltips.com/bow drill for a limited time. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the lessons in this 9-part video series. All right, everybody, I think that's about it. Until next time, I hope to see you on the other side. And remember, be prepared because you never know.